So I just look at the role that I played in my individual circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying had I not been looking at the phone, that wouldn't have happened. Have I driven in the car since that happened after drinking? Yes, I have. Have I curtailed my drinking and driving? Yes, I have. I don't want to go through that again. But I don't look at that as the reason why that happened. I look at the phone as the reason why that happened. Now, that's why, like, so what I'm trying to bring it back to what we've been talking about this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
If I am in jail because of this, people should not be enabling my behavior by talking about free Jay.
No,
he shouldn't be in there. Free Jay.
We're yelling free Jay because I personally know people who got in the same situation, but they not banned. But my dog doing time. Or my dog doing time, but it seems unjust. And honestly, bro pulling that card on you, bro, he was just looking to throw a motherfucker in. And honestly, bro, that was a natural. If somebody hits your fucking car, what are you
Who's not gonna get out of the car?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, at that point, it's like, oh no, you're drunk. He's done. Blah, blah, blah. So for him to jump to that conclusion, so I'll lead like this. So, you know, I'm a cab driver, so I pick up everybody. So I picked this kid up, black kid. His dad's a cop. He was bragging about how many times he done got pulled over speeding and pulled over drunk. No tickets. Only thing he had to do is mention his dad's name, and he gets off. Roberto Aguayo and his brother. I think his brother's good. Roberto Aguayo. You know what I'm saying? When he was here, doing whatever the fuck he wanted. I'm talking about drunk, getting pulled over. Nah, I didn't see it. But his frat buddies. Oh, yeah, Aguayo, big time, man. He gets pulled over every other blah, blah, blah. They just let him go.
They just let him go.
But Aguayo, the reason why everybody knows this, Aguayo's at the party telling everybody. Oh, yeah, man, he got that movie over. So, if you're not Aguayo, if you're not the son of a cop, if you're just a black kid somewhere, you're done. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
White kid, hey, man, you know how many kids that I've seen got either pulled over? This kid, he told me he got pulled over on his scooter. He had, I forgot how many grams he said of weed in it. He had a whole pack on him. So a whole 32 or whatever the fuck, 28. And so he's got a whole thing on him. And he's riding on the scooter. He gets into some little accident or whatever. The cop smells it. He sees it. And he lets him go. You know what I'm saying? He didn't narc on the kid. He didn't say, hey, what is this? You intending to deal? You know how many people got into a car accident and then, hey, man, you intending to deal?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's people locked up for that. But he's a little white kid going to FSU. We're not going to narc on you. So there's a thing going on where there is a privilege. And so when everybody fucks up, and so it's just fucked up that if you look a certain way, you got fucked up. And look, you really got to do that community service hours. You the one that really got to spend your own.
I'm the one that had to do the jail work camp.
And but Bobby Joe over there still sliding and still doing his thing, all because. So it's not a fact of being mad about it. It's about being aware of it. And then when one of your people gets hit by this same system, then you feel that within yourself, you identify with it, and the only thing you know how to do is run out and say free whoever. And that's what I'm saying. This is a situation where, because that's fucked up. I didn't know the whole story of that. And if I knew the whole story, I was like, oh, bro, lawyer time or something.
Oh, that's what I did, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I lawyered up.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere it's like, come on, bro, let this shit slide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just think that, but I think that I am on a path of being able to free myself from those shackles because the way I look at it is I shouldn't have been on the phone. Totally. That's all I'm saying. Like, at no point did I say that you're incorrect. You're right about all of that stuff. But the problem is you can do both. You can say, damn, this shit is fucked up that it happened to me, but I should have done this. So I'm going to make sure that I keep doing this so that I can exist outside of that funnel. I think that that's a more well-rounded approach as opposed to saying I'm in it. Because essentially when you're talking about free meat, you're talking about I'm in this funnel and there's nothing I can do about it. And I don't agree that there's nothing any of us can do about it. I don't agree with that. But I also don't agree with constantly talking about how we need to change that system when you can just put yourself in a position in which you're not exposed to the system per se.
And again, man, sometimes the system finds you.
You're right. Sometimes the system does find you, but when the system finds you and you have resources, you know what happens?
Yeah,
you get off.
Yeah, because the only thing is you didn't have the right lawyer.
No. My guy was pretty good. I didn't get off completely, but the result of it was very favorable to me. There's no DUI on my record. It was like reckless driving or something.
All right, so yeah, you got off clean.
Yeah.
You paid to get off.
I paid to get off. Yeah.
So resources get you off.
Mm-hmm.
So not everybody has that, but Meek Mill's got a plethora of resources.
Right. So how does all of this apply to him? Because he has the resources and he's still.
No, he was. I get what you're saying, because he was out there being a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing celebrity shit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. I mean, you get banned for it. You get banned for riding on a scooter. I mean, I don't know. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's some weird Virginia law where I can't be holding my auntie and a pistol at the same time, and I get banned because I'm on probation. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. I'm just doing my thing. It's a cookout.
Yeah, you're doing your thing, but I believe that there are laws against what he did when he was riding the bike and he was still riding the bike. That's all I'm saying. It's just like, at what point do you draw the line? And
I mean, I feel what you're saying, but I see where the identity comes from.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there's greater causes out there, and everybody that saw that Meek Mill thing in their timeline, they also saw a little kid get kidnapped somewhere, and they did not have the same level of outrage, and that's what I don't like.
Yeah,
that's the part where it's like, y'all willing to do all of this because of his songs, but his life is more important than some little kid over here
who's gonna be fine because he's still gonna have his money.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's good. Yeah,
he's fine. But you know, there's people out here that are really go missing every day. There's some real shit popping off, but that's not a big deal to y'all. And that's just in your feed too. So that's the part where that's why I feel like it's fake, and that's the part about it that I'm like, nah, brother, I don't like that. And honestly, if you feel that much about a rapper, but not so much about some kid who you know, next town over you done heard who's missing, then you want some fuck shit. That individual needs to straighten up their priorities and understand that they are a product of social engineering, and that because I was yelling free Pimp C. Still don't remember what he was in there for. But free to pimp. Hell, I thought pimping was cool. It wasn't until I got older and I was like, that's really not cool. There is nothing cool about pimping. There's not one thing cool in that. And because in order to do it, she has to be out of her mind, of course, strung out on drugs, of course, but it's a form of human trafficking. It's you beat it in her submission to be a sex slave. That ain't cool. Oh, he got the most hoes. You know, I'm talking about Pimp.
Right.
Oh, or even with Pimp C, even though I like his records, even when there's certain songs, man, when he talking about real pimping, it's like, hey, man, I'm uncomfortable. You know, pineapples. Because this shit here, I don't want to hear that about women. That's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, that hoe should be giving you money. These are the problems with our community. But these are held as classics. And that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, it is.
Because me and some other people were talking about Tupac and stuff like that. No, not. But not to say that he didn't contribute a great body of work. But there was some stuff where people were just saying, greatest of all time. Greatest of all time. But he's got so many things on his resume that says that, hey, man, he was fugazing too. But when he started to turn the corner, that's when things changed. But still, nevertheless, there's still some stuff out there that he was saying some foolishness. And so, granted, for him to be held at this esteem and stuff like that, there just needs to be a new bracket. A new bracket of acceptable. A new bracket of dope. And it just, everything else from when everybody was confused is considered that brand of, you know what I'm saying? But now that everybody is a little bit more awakened, I would say, I would hope, that we start to break things off as, oh man, that was good when we were stupid. But that's not a classic anymore. You see what I'm saying? So, cause there's some songs that what's the song? I can't name one off the top of my head. But I mean, if there's a song that's right now in the classic that's absolute classic, and it's talking about all types of drug selling, all types of slapping bitches, and all types of derogatory shit.
Yeah.
But it's a classic that is gonna be played in cookouts 10 years from now. But it's, you know what I'm saying? It's still this is the problem. Yeah, but juveniles, I don't care. We used to play that all the time. That song was the problem. This song is driving people crazy. It's not a hit. It's not a classic. It's madness.
Yeah, we've been instilled with that. I mean, that has always been present. We've been instilled with that madness for years.
What's that?
The you're talking about the glorification of like suspect behavior, but it's celebrated musically. You're talking about the rapping and all that.
Everything that's going on that we don't like about rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had similar complaints about that when we were like in middle school, elementary school. Well, not elementary school, but high school, middle school.
Yeah, that was garbage too.
Yeah.
I'm talking about all of that, bro. I'm talking about anything post NWA. Anything that's rap.
Yeah.
Not hip hop.
Yeah.
Rap.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, man, garbage. And don't be afraid to say it. But come on, man. Whatchamajig said that. He was talking about beating up women. He was talking about making a bottom bitch give him all his money. And he's trying to tell everybody how to pimp in their own personal neighborhoods. Oh, but he talk about the bad side of stuff, man. I don't want to hear that shit. This song was bullshit. This one's good, though. But this one's bullshit. And so my whole thing is, because he made this when he was in a confused spot. And so my whole thing is, if we don't want, I just listen to it on my time off, man. Man, my whole thing is, this shit ain't so hunky-dory. This shit ain't so chill. You can't digest that stuff and be in your right state of mind.
Yeah.
And so my whole thing is, if you listen to this song, if this song is one step back, you know what I'm saying? And every time you play it, it's a step back. You don't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? You're taking 20 steps a day. So that one step back, you don't feel it, you don't see it, you go, man, that shit ain't affecting me. But this guy doesn't take any of those. Actually, he listens to music that gives him +1. So in 40 days, you at 20. And he at 40. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he done doubled up on you. All because of what he listens to on his personal time off. Now, that's because he listens to self-help shit.
Yeah.
He listens to blah, blah, blah. He listens to the ocean music.
Yeah.
Man, so now he's over here. It's an advantage. Let's take nothing away from it. So my whole thing is that just as consumers of music, consumers of all of this stuff, what we're witnessing right now, and Meek Mill goes into that pot. He makes a lot of that crap. He's got potential, because when Meek says real shit, because the reason why people like Meek, because he say some real shit, and those are the songs that people like. People like Boosie because he say real shit. Boosie will give you some hits, but for the most part, Boosie saying real shit all the time. And so the thing is with Meek, people like Meek because everybody knows he's a real nigga, because he's gonna say real shit in tracks. But for the most part, it be garbage, gun talk, blah 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 blah. And so I just tell a lot of these cats, man, just tighten up. You know what the right thing to say is. Tighten up and just say the right things, man. But he had to live this persona. He had to live Meek Mill. And when you trying to be this guy on probation, you're doing willies in New York.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But so if you can tell people to tighten up and say the right shit, then we should also be able to tell people to tighten up and be more accountable.
I don't hold the individual to nothing, because that's the guy who didn't leave his block. That's the guy who didn't leave his state. That's the guy that didn't leave the country. Meek has. Meek has resources. He's been in rooms. He's rubbed elbows. He done touched people. He done seen shit. He knows what's up. When you get in those higher circles, it's a higher echelon of conversations. I don't care what pills you popping. You done been around some shit. And you done been around the intellectual and wise of the world. So you have a responsibility. And you'll hear it in his freestyles where he can give as much as he can. But on tracks, we getting, I'm in my race from Rolly and blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so the reason why people like Meek so much is because he can give you that real. It's just that I don't know whether it's either in the camp or what's going on. Even though his last two projects have been better, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Meek, if he's a cool. Honestly, he's just a cool cat. But when I hear trap rap now or gun rap, it's garbage.
Yeah.
If you're talking about gun, talking about killing the next black guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not that killing a white man makes it better. Killing a person who, you know what I'm saying, self-defense. If there was some type of warrior music out there that was like some, yeah, I ain't got no problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you talking about, hey man, because you a fuck nigga and you got those colors on and we B's and y'all C's,
yeah,
nah, that's whack to me. But yeah, man, that's how I feel about that though.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that it does us much good to be screaming free Meek when he had the resources to know better and still got himself in that position anyway. I just think ultimately you minimize the effectiveness of your cause for equality because people will no longer pay attention to you when you're willing to so quickly jump to the defense of a rich person with resources who simply just made bad mistakes, who displayed errors in judgment. Ultimately, you just got to you have to take it upon yourself to acquire the resources necessary to not be in that position. And even if you don't acquire those resources, having that mentality is enough to move in a positive direction where if more of us had that mentality, there would be less of us getting locked up. There would be less of us to talk about free this person in the first place, is what I'm saying. Just like with the racism stuff, when you run around screaming racism all the time, ain't nobody going to want to hear you because all you're talking is racism. So when some real racist shit goes down, people are going to turn a blind eye to you because you're always talking about racism anyway.
Well, if your race conversation is fickle, then of course. If you're just a race baiter, if you're just throwing race out there just for the sake of race, of course.
Most of it is baiting.
Yeah, most of it
is baiting.
Because if you knew better, you wouldn't.
Yeah, most of it is baiting, and unfortunately, most of it is baiting, and it's perpetuated by us because it's vogue today for us to talk about what's racism. Like we're always looking for the racism, and it's like, listen, to each his own. You want to do that kind of stuff, that's okay, but you need to understand the consequences of that, which is people aren't going to want to pay attention to you when some real racist shit goes down. So if what we're talking about when we say we want to eradicate and end all of this racism, or we want to have genuine dialogue to make these sorts of things better, you're going to have to make sure that you're carefully pinpointing when you bring these things up, because otherwise you're diluting your message. And when we're talking about free Meek or free any of these people who should know better, you're diluting your message when you're talking about we need to take a serious look at how this system is sort of keeping us in shackles.
No, yeah, but Meek knows better he should know not to be on a fucking wheelie, but at the same time, like I said earlier, is that in his personality set, I'm sure he's done it before.
Yeah.
And so, but it's just a thing where, I hear that, I get that, but I still don't want to put all of it on his shoulders. I don't want to put it all on the system. Of course, it's a 50-50 thing. Mm-hmm. And but all I ask from people is to be a little bit more, a little bit more analytical. But of course, I still say free Meek.
Yeah.
I still want the man out.
But like what? But when you say free Meek, are you specifically saying free Meek, or are you kind of in a roundabout way saying free the fuckery? You get what I'm trying? You get what I'm saying?
Free him from the fuckery?
No, free us, like the elimination of the fuckery in general.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, and I'm saying free Meek because I genuinely want the man out, and I think it's bullshit. And if the man wanted to do a handstand on something illegal.
I mean, we're not arguing whether it was bullshit that got him in there. We're arguing whether he was aware of the bullshit but still did it anyway.
Yeah, the crime that he was breaking right there,
Well, just having the self-awareness, just having the awareness of this is my circumstance. Is it unfair? Yes. But why further contribute to this situation of my own volition? Like, why do that? And so I have understanding you're going to do it anyway because maybe he was just in the moment. I'm going to ride my bike. I don't give a shit. But I am just saying collectively as a whole, we are diluting our causes for, justice reform, racial reform, all that stuff. But specifically to this particular situation because, the Meek Mill situation brings up greater discussion about the referendum of criminal justice and the reform or lack thereof. So when we want to have that conversation, it's diluted when the face of that becomes Free Meek. That's my opinion.
I see. I mean, of course.
Because the face of it should be guy who's in there who shouldn't be in there. That should be the face. Right. That should be the face of it.
But and I hear what you're saying. But on the flip side, I guess much like how they don't care about that kid across the street.
Yeah.
Is the celebrity of it.
Right.
Is what makes it go. Hey, you guys are doing this to him.
Yeah.
And so, but this is a great example of how. Some people's probation does get extended. Mm-hmm. It does shine a light on this. I'm not advocating the type of protest. I thought it was, once I saw his picture all over my timeline, it was immediately already too much.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't post about me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're making that the face of, like, pick a better champion, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, we need to do a better job of picking our champions. Like, you brought it up, and I think that's the root of this. The root of this is we, and for whatever reason you want to bring up, nevertheless, the truth is that we, for better or for worse, have chosen rappers to be our cultural champions. And so the root of this is you're putting the face of this on that particular situation with Meek Mill, talking about Free Meek. Mm-hmm. And while I agree that there can be some Free Meek, because some of that is constructive, sure, you're just sort of making the face of the entire movement about Free Meek or free any other rapper, and it's purely because of the fact that we have championed rappers as our cultural mouthpiece.
And I agree with that because first of all, there in any other race there is no cultural mouthpiece.
Yes,
and so there's a reason why we're the only ones that have one. There's a reason why we're the only ones that have leaders, civil rights leaders, because they're appointed. Mm-hmm. They're appointed. One thing that they couldn't help was niggas rapping good. Mm-hmm. And so what has happened? Their kids are emulating the rappers now. They're coloring their hair and they're dying from Xanax. Mm-hmm. So now that we see that this stuff is plaguing America as a whole, but America when I tell you about, because they're doing this to everybody, because if you are a human being and not a robot, you're a problem. So little white kid, he's not as threatening as little Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, one day little Timmy's gonna have his day too. You know what I'm saying? And so one thing that everybody needs to be aware of is that we're all in the same boat. So when little Timmy listens to Offset and Takeoff, this kid's and Quavo, this kid's having an orgasm. He's like, oh my God, this shit is lit. America is built off of idolatry. It's the whole thing of being a celebrity and all of that stuff. True. is everything. True. So when we talk about cream of the crop of talents, the best singers, hell, Adele is worshipped, and she do something, the world stop. You know what I'm saying? So they have their own, but again, when we talk about talent pools, we can look and see who's the better football players, better basketball players, whatever. So at that point, it's the better singers as well. And so when we talk about talent and who's more intriguing, it's the black people. Mm-hmm. So of course, we're going to be the ones that are the heroes when it comes to rap, heroes when it comes to sports, heroes when it comes to anything. But just like any other thing, they always try to put their own in there. Vanilla Ice, and Eminem, you know what I'm saying? And whatever. Trying to etch out their own little person of the greatest of all time. The Tom Brady's or whatever. Black guys can't be a quarterback because they blah, blah, blah. Black people can't be head coaches. Black people can't blah, blah. It's just all of this. And so we've seen all of this in our entire lives. Either consciously or subconsciously, we're all witnessing this. And we're all seeing how we're being marginalized. But again, at the same time, you can't help the cream from rising to the top. And all of these talented people, because Quavo, Takeoff, and what's his name, they all talented. You can't help they rap that way. So now they at the top, and they have to still pass a thing. So I don't know what happened with them when they got bammed up. You know what I'm saying? But that was part of their warning or whatever. But when they went down to the college campus or whatever, you know, they got weed on them. They got guns on them. They fucking kids rapping. Of course they got all that shit on them.
Yeah.
Y'all want to knock on them now? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So we all know about the hip-hop police and whatever. Yeah. So I was driving this girl car. You know what I'm saying? The car, or her license is dirty. Her car's clean. But they know her car dirty. You know, they know that the owner of that car dirty. Mm-hmm. So she was like, just be careful, you know how. You know, I said, man, I'm straight. So I'm driving a car, I'm whipping it, doing the limit. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the light, I ain't thinking twice. I was like, cop behind, I was like, hey, I'm clean, baby. I ain't did nothing wrong. I turn, blah, 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 he throws his lights on. I'm like, what the fuck? And then he was like, you know, he gives my license, blah, blah, blah. I say, whose car is this? So, oh, man, it's my old lady, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, okay, I'll just make sure the owner of this car, their license is rendered. I'm like, damn, bro, like this? Y'all really on the beat like this? So I'm not Offset. I'm not Meek Mill. I don't have a concert coming in town tonight. I don't have everybody's IG and phone out. So, but when you Meek Mill, but you're not owned, you're a problem. And so these cats, Gucci wasn't owned. Gucci was Gucci. And they kept letting Gucci out. They're going to keep letting Gucci out and going back in, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I think, that, like I said before, this last one, he got himself together. I'm going to do this industry shit.
Oh, yeah.
And he's doing it.
Yeah.
And so,
I was going to say, it seemed like Gucci owned now.